Hello, Karen Jones here, Point of View, YOU.me.com. How's everybody doing out there? The sun is back out today in Korea. It's warmer, thank God. So happy the sun's back out, and it's supposed to be out like full blast tomorrow. It's supposed to go up to 52 degrees. Oh my God. Anyway, happy to be here. Happy Money Day. It's always Money Day. That's like the number one thought of most people around the planet, right? the energy of the powers that be, God, Buddha, they're all very busy dealing with all these money requests. Quite an extraordinary thing. So let's get busy, shall we? Today we are once again reading from Money Isn't the Problem, You Are, by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dain Heer. And here they are, my handsome friends. There you go. Can you see them? There they are. They are all over the world. They were just in India. Had an amazing 7-day class. For those of you who don't know about Access Consciousness, it is truly an amazing philosophy. It is I would call it a philosophy of living. It's a series of tools and techniques that you use to change your life, to release your limitations around anything, money, relationships, anything. So today we're going to cover 3 chapters. They're small chapters, of course. Truth and Lies is one. Number 2 is Interesting Point of View, my favorite. And number 3 is All of Life Comes to Me with Ease, Joy, and Glory, which actually is a mantra that I say to this day. I've been saying it for 12 years, almost 13. I say it every morning and every night. Every morning when I first wake up and every night before I go to bed. So I am very, very, very happy to be here once again with you here in Seoul, South Korea. I haven't really ventured out a lot in Seoul this time around because it's cold and because I'm very busy. I am not only a musical entrepreneur, I am a marketing entrepreneur. So I'm learning so much about the business. If you'd like to know more about that, you can just write to me at Karen@pointofview.me.com. Okay, so shall we get busy? Let us do some reading here and get greater clarity and more tools and techniques to use to have more in our lives, not just money, people, but greater wealth, an attitude of greater prosperity, and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get started, shall we? Here we go. Truth and lies. The truth always makes you feel lighter. A lie always makes you feel heavier. You guys, think about it, all right? Think about times when someone's lying to you and you just know they're lying. It's like this heavy feeling that you get, something you feel in your gut. Similar, pretty much the same thing. If something makes you feel heavy, it's a lie for you, whether or not it is for anybody else. Don't give your power away to anybody by saying that they know more than you do. You are the source. You are the source. You are the source. Hello, did I say that enough times? Wherever your attention gets stuck on something, you have a truth with a lie attached, okay? So wherever your attention gets stuck on something, where you're repeating something over and over and over and over and over, there's a truth and then there's a lie attached to it. So you have to ask, what part of this is true and what part is a lie? Spoken or unspoken? Because even if it's unspoken, people, the energy is in the air. You all know that to be true, okay? So what part of this is true and what part of it is a lie, spoken or unspoken? What part is true? Now, the majority of lies that stick our attention are unspoken lies. You keep thinking about it. If a thought keeps coming back, ask, what part is true? And the answer will make you feel lighter, okay? What's the lie, spoken or unspoken? That's attached to it. Then ask, okay, so what's the lie, spoken or unspoken, that's attached to it? When you spot the lie, the whole thing turns loose. It becomes truth, and you're free of it. Okay, I had a friend who was a magical healer. He could do miracles, just giving you a massage. He could heal your body. He did the Access Foundation and Access 1 class. These are the initial classes that you do in Access. The first is the bars class. The second is the Access Foundation. And the next is Access 1, is the level 1 class, okay? That's just for your FYI. And then said he couldn't afford to do the 2 and 3 class. That's level 2 and level 3 class. I said, I'll give you the classes because you're such a good friend and I really want you to have them. He said, great, but he didn't show up for the classes. I called him a number of times, but he didn't call me back. After about 2 weeks, I was feeling strange about this situation. And I went to his wife's office and he was there. And I said, hey, can we go for a walk? He said, okay. I said, so what's the deal that you didn't come to the class? He said, well, I was thinking about it. I realized that my calling is to sell vitamins. Sell vitamins? That is his calling? I thought, that does not make me feel lighter. What's the truth here? I didn't challenge him, but I wondered, you just got a $1,400 class offered to you for free and you turned it down. What's going on? I went away and I was confused. I kept thinking about it. Now, the truth is, a couple of days later, I said, wait a minute. The truth is, he didn't do the class. The spoken lie. Then I spotted the spoken lie, which was that he wanted to sell vitamins. The unspoken lie, then I got the unspoken lie, which was that it was his choice not to do the class. In truth, it was his wife who didn't want him to do it. I got that his wife is the power in the family and she doesn't want him to have any power, that is, because that means he might leave her. He was younger, he was good looking, and she didn't get that he loved her for her. She thought he stayed with her because she made the majority of the money, and she decided it was better to keep him powerless. Once I spotted that, I knew what was going on, and I never thought about it again. Now use this with recurring thoughts. Ask yourself, what part is true? The answer will make you feel lighter. Then ask, what's the lie, spoken or unspoken, that's attached to it? More often, the lie that hangs you up is an unspoken lie. Spot the lie and you're free of it. I'm coming back to you real quick. Here I am. I'm coming back to you because I had something like this happen to me recently. Before I came to Korea, I asked to arrive at least 2 days early so that I could get rid of my jet lag and I could not feel tired when I was singing the first night. But I got a response by email, oh, sorry, it is standard that we have you come a day before. And I was like, really? That didn't feel light at all. And in fact, I kept asking Grace, well, what's going on here? What's the truth here? What's really going on? And I had a feeling that they had already made the reservation and it would cost them too much money to get out of the reservation and change it. I had a feeling about that. That was, okay, you got to follow your feelings. You got to follow your awareness here. You got to know that you know. And the funny thing is that I asked one of my colleagues about it, and he said, that's really strange. The last singer was here 3 days early. So you see, I got confirmation. It was truth with a lie attached, okay? That you have to be aware because that kind of stuff goes on all the time. Okay, so let's get back to our reading. Okay, here we go. So spot the lie and you're free of it. Okay, here's my favorite. I love this. Interesting point of view. When you are in a place of no judgment, you recognize that you are everything and you judge nothing, including yourself. There is simply no judgment in your universe. There is total allowance of all things. In a place of no judgment, what a beautiful place to be. I believe that our greatest religious leaders and our greatest political leaders, like Jesus Christ, I don't believe he had any judgment. So when you are in allowance, you are rock in the stream. Thoughts, ideas, beliefs, attitudes, and emotions come at you and they go around you, and you are still the rock in the stream. Everything is an interesting point of view. Everything, okay? Acceptance is different from allowance. If you are in acceptance, when thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and attitudes come at you and you are in the stream, you get washed away. In acceptance, you either align and agree, which is the positive polarity, or you resist and react, which is the negative polarity. Either way, you become part of the stream and you get washed away. If you're an allowance of what I'm saying, you can say, well, that's an interesting point of view. I wonder if there's any truth in that. You go into a question instead of a reaction. When you go into resistance and reaction, or alignment and agreement with points of view, you create limitation. The unlimited approach is interesting point of view. Now, how is this in everyday life? You and your friend are walking down the street and he says to you, I'm broke. What do? Oh, you poor thing, is alignment and agreement. You are is resistance and reaction. You know he's going to hit you up for a loan. Interesting point of view is, really? Does someone irritate you? He or she is not the problem. You are. As long as you have any irritation, you've got a problem. Lock yourself in the bathroom doing interesting point of view, I have this point of view, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. You get the idea. For every point of view you have about them, until you get over it and can be an allowance, then you're free. Being an allowance, that is interesting point of view. Really just having no point of view about the situation or person. It's not about the way others respond to you. It's about your being an allowance of them as completely batshit as they are. You have to be an allowance of where the other person sits in order for them to be able to change. You don't have to align and agree and love them, nor do you have to resist and react and hate them. Neither of those is real. You simply allow and honor and respect their point of view without buying it. Being an allowance of somebody doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. You just have to be what is. Okay, this is what is. Okay, interesting point of view. Now, the hardest thing is to be an allowance of yourself. Don't I know that to be true? We tend to judge and judge and judge ourselves. We get locked into trying to be a good parent or a good partner or a good whatever, and we're always judging ourselves. But we can be an allowance of our own point of view. We can say, I had that point of view. Interesting. I did that. Interesting. When you're an allowance, everything becomes an interesting point of view. You do not accept it. You do not resist it. It just is. Life gets easier. Interesting, huh? So I'm coming back to you again. Interesting point of view is such a dynamic. I use it as the example of my e-folder. My e-flyer, sorry. I used it because interesting point of view is, to me, one of the big life changers. Because what happens is we fall into the habit of judging, okay? Judging is, people think that judging, if you didn't have judgment, that you would die, that we would die as humankind, right? But in reality, think about it. Interesting point of view puts you, it's very wide. It's energetically speaking, it's just huge, okay? So you've got a situation and you look at the situation and you immediately go into trying to figure it out or judge it or calculate or whatever. But if you could, when you say interesting point of view, it kind of like takes you out of the picture so that you can look at it and go, well, that's interesting, and look at the mechanics of it without going into, oh my God, that's horrible. Oh, these people are fucking crazy, or whatever it may be, to, jump into a conclusion. Interesting point of view, it gives you an opportunity to breathe to a certain degree in any situation. So that you can at first say, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting choice. It's not something that I necessarily would choose, but that's an interesting choice. It takes you out of going immediately into judging. And this is great for yourself. It's like, wow, when you do something really stupid, you're like, wow, that was an interesting choice, Karen. That was really interesting. Good for you. How do you feel about that? What else can you choose? So I always go to the next question, which is the beauty of access, because you can just keep asking questions instead of digging yourself deeper and deeper in your judgment, and therefore in your limitation, and therefore not able to change the energy of a situation as quickly as you would like. It really helps with people who are not like, I remember asking Gary years ago, well, what do I do with the slime ball who is like looking at me with that lecherous gaze, and how do I react to that? He said, well, just interesting point of view. You have that point of view. Interesting point of view. You have that point of view. And he can just be whatever he's being for whatever reasons he's choosing it. And you can just be an allowance of it with no judgment. I mean, you don't have to participate in his vibe. However, you can just be an allowance of it. Interesting point of view. It's a really powerful tool. Please use it. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, they have that point of view. Interesting point of view, they have that point of view. And what else is possible? And is it possible for me to change this situation? Can I change it? And if so, how can I change it? And allow the universe to help you, because they will. You'll get possibilities of ways to create what you'd like to create. Patience, my friends, patience. Okay, so we have one more chapter. Let's get to it. Back to screen share. Thank you very much. Here we go. Okay. Now this is it. Not this is it. This is also an amazing tool because it's an open-end mantra. It's the Access mantra. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Our mantra in Access is all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. It's not an affirmation because it's not about having only the positive. It includes the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll take it all with ease and joy and glory. You see what I'm saying? It includes everything. Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. It includes the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll take it all, but we'll take it with ease and joy and glory. None of it has to be painful, suffering, and gory, which is what this reality is about. I mean, every time I turn on my TV, it's like blood and guts and things blowing up and people in pain. Painful, suffering, and gory. That is the main theme of the Matrix. Now, even though that's the way most of us live our lives, you can have fun instead. What if the purpose of life was merely to have fun? All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Now, I like to add in all of life comes to my body and me with ease and joy and glory. I like to add my body into that too because I love my body. So anyway, say it 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening, and it will change your life. But never mind, don't say it because you don't want to change your life. You want everything to stay the same, right? I really hope that I just pushed a button. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Tell your mate the reason it's up there is because you have to remember it. It will change your mate's life as well, just because he or she has to look at it. Guess what? We're getting married. Okay, so a lady called me and said, I want my boyfriend to marry me. How can I get that to happen? I said, honey, I'm a psychic, not a wizard. The only thing I can suggest is that you put all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory up on the mirror where he shaves every morning. And who knows? 3 weeks later, she called and said, guess what? We're getting married. Okay, which isn't to say that that's going to work for everybody, by the way. Grandma, what's that? A grandmother who does Access in New Zealand told us that her grandson saw all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory on her refrigerator. And he said, Grandma, what's that? Can I use it? She said, well, it comes from Access and you can use it. Just let people know where it came from. The grandson, who was the manager of a refrigeration company, had his salesmen say it together 10 times every morning. And in 8 weeks, their sales went from $20,000 to $60,000 per month. That's without changing anything else. The grandson told his lowest performing salesman about using how does it get any better than this. The guy started saying it every time he made out a new sales receipt. And his sales went from $7,000 to $20,000 per month. Remember that one? How does it get any better than this? These people hadn't even ever heard of Access and had no idea where these tools came from. But they used them and experienced big changes in the way money flowed into their life. So can you. Into their lives, so can you. So, ladies and gentlemen, here I am again. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory is an amazing tool. Really, don't use it. It's not going to work for you. I'm sure it's not going to work for you. I'm pushing your buttons. That's right. I'm trying to create a wedgie in your universe so that you will allow this energy into your life. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory 10 times in the morning, 10 times at night. Okay? So, and you can say it if you're a little bit ADD or obsessive compulsive, you can say it all the time. If life is really bumming you out right now, use it. These are tools that need to be used because they literally will change your life. They've changed my life. I have created so many remarkable things have come to be, have actualized because of using these tools. Okay, so all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me in my body with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me in my body with ease, joy, and glory. All of music comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of music comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Another one that I just started, which I'm going to share with you and give to you with great ease, is tsunami flows of money come to me with ease, joy, and glory. Doesn't that want to make you do the money dance? Tsunami flows of money come to me with ease, joy, and glory. It's like you have to imagine like there's this ball of energy, and it's just packed with all of this wonderful energy around like huge amounts of money, just as much as you're willing to receive, okay? Because, you know, you could try and put in $100 million, but if you're not willing to receive $100 million, or if you think something's wrong with having that kind of money, or what would you do with that kind of money, it's too much money, then it's never going to come to your universe. So what would be an outrageous sum of money that you could be very comfortable with? And I told you before, $100,000 a month would be fine for me for now. Okay, so another question, that other question that they had at the very end of the chapter was, how does it get any better than this? This is truly a phrase. When I was working at Unity on the Bay in Miami, I was a choir director there, and the minister, great minister, James Trapp, if you look him up on Google, he's a remarkable man, really amazing insight, and just really just a powerful being. And we were talking, we would periodically have lunches together, and I told him about this question. I was like, well, you know, one of the things I've been learning at that time, which was a good 12 years ago, was how does it get any better than this? And he was like, really? He said, wow. I said, you know, because most of the time people say, oh, it can't get any better than this. And when they say it can't get any better than this, guess what? It's not going to get any better. It's like putting a cap on your abundance and on your prosperity and on the ability of infinite possibilities to show up in your universe. Don't say it doesn't get any better than this. Please, please listen to what I'm saying. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better? The universe has really big ears. He's got bigger than Dumbo ears. And the universe is listening. They're listening all the time. And when you say stupid stuff, no judgment there, just an awareness, just an interesting point of view, how can you change that? All right. So how does it get any better than this? In any situation, good or bad, when things are going great, how does it get any better than this? Because it can get greater. When things are going terribly, how does it get any better than this? Of course, that's the obvious choice to use the question, right? No, how does it get any better than this needs to be used all the time. I'll tell you a great story. I was in Tokyo, and I was singing, and most of you know I'm also a singer, KarenJonesLive.com. There's my other website. And in that situation, people weren't really paying attention to me. And I was like, well, this isn't, you know, this is interesting. What's it going to take to change this? What's it going to take a little bit of attention here? And I started, oh, wait a minute. Nobody's paying attention to me is an answer, is a conclusion. Let me ask a question. And I asked, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? All of a sudden, I see out of the corner of my eye, I see this Japanese man who's like, oh, he's like, I'm so excited and thrilled. And I was like, oh, you see, the universe listens. It listens. Look at that. I'm getting all this lovely attention. He was so excited. There weren't a lot of people there, but he was there and he was so happy. And of course, at the end of the set, I went over to him and I was like, sumimasen, thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu, and he was so thrilled that I came over to talk to him that he reached into his inside jacket pocket and he pulled out 10,000 yen, which is $100. And I was like, wow, how does it get any better than that? So I took my 100,000 and I went back and I was just really happy. I did the money dance. And then I came back and he was still there and he was just lovely. And I sang again and he's still giving me all this wonderful attention. How does it get any better than that? And of course, I had to go over and say hello to him again and thank him again. Thank him so much. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, he reached into his inside jacket pocket again and pulled out another 10,000 yen. That's $200 tip I got that night just for asking, how does it get any better than that? But don't do it. Don't ask that question. I don't advise it because it probably won't work for you. I'm pulling your chain. Come on, folks. Use the techniques because they really do work. They do work. As soon as you go to an answer and you start limiting your world, you literally have put blinders on. Anytime you go into judgment, nothing else can come into your universe but that judgment, because the universe is like, oh, is this what you want? Okay, fine, we can do that. So pay attention to what you're saying, pay attention to what you're thinking, change the game in your head, okay, in that crazy head of yours, in that crazy, beautiful head of yours. All right. Okay, so remember, how does it get any better than this? All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Truth. Is this the truth, or is there a lie attached, and is it spoken or unspoken? What's the truth? And now sometimes you're not going to get the answer right away. Remember that when you ask questions, you have to allow the universe to get the information to you. It might be very quickly, or it could be like within a few days or a week or a month, who knows? But don't give up asking questions, okay? So remember 10% to the Church of You. Remember that episode? 10% to the Church of You. You deserve it. All right? 10% to the Church of You. Keep growing that. Let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. I know it's a different song, but trust me, 10%. Put it away. Don't spend it. And if you have to spend it, put it back as soon as you can. Okay? So I know you. All right. Next, $5. Or more, if you'd like to. Spread. It's like from Hello Dolly. Money should be spread out like manure so that the things can grow. So basically, you're taking $5, not necessarily all five. You can put $1 here, $1 there, $1 there, and go out into the public and put it somewhere for someone to find. This is telling you and telling the universe, I have so much money, I can just give money for people to find and let them know too that the universe is abundant. Hallelujah. I love that one. I love it. I love it. So the next thing to do, ladies and gentlemen, is it's the money dance. So you know that feeling you get when you find money, or when you get money, and you get unexpected money, you're like, oh, you scream and yell, do your money dance, people. That's because you're calling on the universe to let them know, oh, I got this money already. It's there. There's the money dance. Thank you so much for watching my weekly Yummy webinar, Yummy Money webinar. We will see you next Wednesday with my special guest, Brenda St. Louis. Oh, and don't forget, end of May, Dances with Riches in Las Vegas with Cass Thomas. Come on down. We're going to love to see you. All right, y'all. Take care.